What's going on, everybody out there in Facebook land, Twitter, wherever it is that you're watching this from? Sorry that we were running a little late, had some technical difficulties, but I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Tyr from Sovereign Comics. I am going to be hosting this lovely podcast, chat, shenanigans, whichever one you want to call it, of the Fall of Night team and this amazing book that they have funded on Kickstarter. Um, you're going to get to learn something about the book. You're going to get to learn something about the team. And yeah, I hope you all are ready for that. So I'm going to go ahead and start inviting everyone up here, starting off with Aaron. Aaron, if you want to go ahead and come on up here.
I'm doing
it. What's going on, Aaron?
I'm sharing everything. Sharing it everywhere.
Uh-oh. Spoiler alert everywhere. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert everywhere. All right,
see if I can get banned within the last 2 days.
I bet you can't.
I can try.
Right.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Thank you for allowing me to host this. I greatly appreciate it. I feel like I'm shaking off cobwebs, man.
Yeah, man.
Make it to it naturally. It's wild. It's wild. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the rest.
All you're doing is pre-recorded stuff now.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's everything I'm doing now is pre-recorded. So it's weird getting that live vibe back, even though it's supposed to be starting lives and doing all that other stuff. But they're coming back, and when they get back, yeah.
Instead, we're just going to cause problems together.
Exactly. That's what we're going to do.
Pulling them in.
Yep. Bring everybody on up here.
Blamity, blah.
Bam. So now we have.
Hello.
Hey, y'all. Well, hi.
Everyone say hello. We have Joe, who's the artist of the book. We have Van Claridge, who is the letterer of the book, and Jessica, who is the producer of the book and makes sure that everyone does their stuff and don't slack off. So,
and then I'm late.
I wasn't going to say anything. But
I was here. I was trying really hard.
To be fair, we're like 4 devices deep trying to get her in.
Yes. Yes. Goodness gracious! Thank goodness there are so many devices, but it did take a couple to get to one that would work for us today. So here I am.
I fully get it. You got to have a backup.
I'm sitting at my desk with 3 desktop computers, and I'm on my phone doing this.
Yeah. Well, I've got a tablet.
Yep, I got my tablet right here.
Whatever works.
My tablet that I ink on is right in front of me, and my laptop over here. So I'm like, phone. So hopefully, my desktop does well. But I was gonna keep that vague for you, Jessica. But that's why I say with technical difficulties, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Hello, I'm direct.
Oh man. So for the folks out there who may not know everyone up here, I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves, and that's just courtesy what you do on these things. So we're gonna start off with Aaron. Go ahead and tell everyone out there who you are, what it is that you do, and what it is that you do for this team for Fall of Night.
Yep. So my name's Aaron. I'm a writer. You're watching this on the Catalyst channel, so you should know me. But yeah, so I write, and hey, my author website's almost done. It should be up maybe at the end of this week. So that's going to be really cool to follow stuff in a different way. But yeah, on this particular project, I am the creator and scriptwriter.
Sweet. Joe, time for you.
Okay. I'm Joe DeSantos. I'm the illustrator for Fall of Night. I've been making indie comics for 15 plus years. Aaron and I have been working together for years now. I have many projects that are currently ongoing and several projects that are coming up shortly. It's going to be a very, very busy few months for me.
That's awesome. So, Joe, do you do your own books, or are you strictly just...
No, I prefer to get paid.
Understood.
A great way not to get paid for a book is to do your own stuff.
Understood. That's the reason why I started back inking and got back into lettering. Like I just lettered Here Walks Monsters for someone.
Yeah,
I just did that. So I started lettering again, and I haven't done what Aaron's done and started writing and editing for other folks. Like I'm not gonna do that.
Oh, I just started writing.
Did you?
I have 2 writing credits to my name now.
That's awesome.
There's a third that's coming out next year. That's my 3rd writing credit, but it's going to be the first time that I'm writing a multi-issue arc for a company.
Look at you go.
Right?
is dope.
Look at me.
Wait,
All
Making
these
that.
years in.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Did that
Yeah,
come
all
from?
these years in, I finally got a job where I get paid less.
Gosh.
Welcome to writing, Joe.
Yep. Welcome to
Yeah.
writing.
Yay!
fun.
Congratulations.
Wait till
It's
you
fun.
wait till
Controlling the story is fun, but I'd rather have the lights on.
wait till you start writing and then decide to start your own publishing company. You're really gonna see the pay cut.
Hope you like ramen.
Oh no, let's not go there.
No.
Yeah, I published one book of my own.
Yeah.
And that was
Joe, come back.
He's deep down memory lane.
It was.
Deep thought right now.
Man,
So
the anticipation
suspenseful.
is killing me.
oh no.
Oh,
Am I
He's
here?
back. Yep.
Am I here?
Yep.
Yep.
You're back.
You're back.
Okay. I'm back.
All right. Anyway.
I was saying something. I have no idea where
That
to kick
book
off.
was-
So let's move on.
No one's ever going to know what the book was.
No one's ever gonna know.
Ultimate suspense.
Y'all just go out there and look for it. First one to bring it back.
Win something.
Oh, the one
Win
that I did for myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you. That's Aria. Aria #1.
Okay.
It was set to go for like 10 issues, but got one issue out, and
Wanted
then
to
I
get
said,
paid.
let's pay some bills.
There you go.
Van, let everybody out there know who you are, what it is that you do for the awesome team.
I am Van Claridge, and I'm letters on Fall of Night. And I just kind of oopsed my way into this thing. It wasn't really, I never really set out to be a letterer. But lucky for me, Aaron hates lettering more than anything. And so he hates lettering more than he likes money. So he's able to throw it at me to do
Yeah.
some lettering. So I've just I decided to kind of take my own approach with the lettering that I don't really see a whole lot of folks doing. So I'm just kind of trying to put my stank on the book. So if people look at it, they'll be like, hey, that's some nice lettering.
Exactly.
So, because normally if you do lettering right, you don't even notice it. But no, I just wanted to do something a little bit extra. But, and lucky for me, Joe's a madman, and he's able to keep the pages flying at me and on into the next book after this. So if as long as I don't anger him in any way, then I should be working for a long time.
Brother, piss me off every day if you like. Just keep pumping out the stuff that you're doing, and I'll be fine.
So, is this your first lettering gig, or have you lettered your own books, or have you lettered other books for individuals?
Yes. I got started with lettering on my own thing, and it's kind of now a defunct chapter of my book. I started the lettering on it, so I was able to make all my mistakes there, and then from there, Aaron got me to re-letter Paradigm. So for the digital version,
Okay.
so so if you are able to get yourself a digital copy of Paradigm, you'll see my first lettering ever. So I'll take autographs later, and if you find me at a convention or something.
Digital autographs.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Just give me your phone, I'll just sign it.
Yep. It's on your phone. Jessica, tell everybody out there who you are and what it is that you do to ensure that everyone stays on track.
Yeah, so for this project, I am producer, which is a little bit of project management, which is a lot of, all right, what are all the parts, and are they all coming at me in a timely fashion? Can we all check in and be communicative? And then also it'll be editing, pre-press editing for this project. And as producer, it was a little bit of financial involvement as well for this one.
Awesome. So is this your first full book, like getting the full run on, or has Aaron gotten you to
In the producer role, yes, it is. Like this is I've helped with other ones, I've done other stuff, but this is the one where I've had my first big role in it. And I think it was kind of a nice way to do it. I got to be a producer on it, so I got to pick. I got to say, all right, you're the writer on this one. You're the one who's doing the stories, but I'm going to be producing. So I'm picking from all your stories. All right. This is the one that we think is like we can go in on together, and the one that we all believe in and can see ourselves making a good team with. And so that's the one that we did together.
Awesome.
Kind of like herding cats, right?
Yeah.
That's what it always feels like. This feels like. Oh man. So all right, now that we've gotten to know each other, we're gonna go ahead and get into the questions. Everybody out here, don't worry. They're not that juicy, the questions. They might be as time goes on. I like to pull questions from answers too, so we'll see what happens. Aaron, one thing I've always been curious about, because I know like me, you are similar in a lot of ways with the wordplay. So how did you eventually come up with your title? Because
No.
I see the wordplay that you did there.
No.
No.
So
Did you come up with the title, or did someone else come up with the title?
no, I came up with the title.
I was gonna say, what?
Well, the premise of the book is a dude, falling away from everything that he knew.
Mm-hmm.
He's a knight. He's a knight Templar, and he's fallen away from faith and an order and a structure for his life and an upbringing. So it was, it just made sense to call it call it Fall of Night.
Makes sense. So what was the? Because I hear you already put a little bit of you already dropped a little bit of the jewels that probably going to be part of this next question. But what was the catalyst, if you will?
See what you did there.
See, wordplay of this story.
thing.
Like I said the thing. All right. So yeah, what was the catalyst of this story? Like what happened? Was it like a shower moment, sleep moment? You woke up, notepad beside the bed, started writing, or?
It was a fusion of things. I guess it's something I've always been interested in, specifically Knights Templar. I've not really known a whole lot about feudal Japan and all that, but I did know quite a bit about a lot of the art styles, and I really liked the palettes that were used for paintings and sculptures and things. So when it came to the coloring, I thought it would be cool to have a limited Japanese color palette on it. But as far as the story goes, Knights Templar is just something that I've always grown up hearing about, studying about, watching documentaries about. I'm a history nerd, and that was a very, very fascinating time in history. Outside of them, it was right before that time was extremely quiet as far as like things that were going on in the world. And then there were the Crusades and the Knights Templar and then just the chaos that happened with that. So it's something that's always kind of been there. And then the exploration of basically just a knight that is having second guesses about what he's saying he's doing in the name of God, and realizing that he's actually just being completely destructive, murdering people, and not representing the book that he says he's living his life by. And we actually get to see that moment in issue 1 of when the realization hits him. And I think it's one of the things I really like about the story is it's so grounded in reality. Like this seems like something that could legitimately happen. As far as I know, there's no records of any knights ending up all the way in Japan, but that was as far away as I could get them without putting them on a boat. So that's where we put them. We got them over to Japan.
I love it. I like the idea of things being taken out of history and just changed or twisted to make a story.
Historical fiction.
Exactly.
Well, it's easier using one singular character to pull them out rather than like, no, I need to completely revamp the Knights Templar, because that would be just a crazy task that would take us, out of reality and history.
It really would be. And I know when we talked about my one story, where I'm not going to get on that, but yeah, I do love that, because I do have a story, but it was more recent history. But you know which one I'm talking about. But it's fun to write those, because then you got to do that research and figure certain things out and figure how things operated during that time. And like you said, looking to see, well, have any, Templar Knights gone to Japan? Did this happen in the same era? All of that stuff, just to make it work. So that's awesome. And Joe, this one's for you, because like Aaron was saying, basically with liking the Japanese art and stuff of that time, is there anything that you may have pulled from Japanese art to make the artwork feel kind of similar, like it's drawn on the same type of paper, or any of the same style? Did you like borrow any of the styles from that time with your style for the book?
I didn't borrow from any type of artistic discipline
Mhm.
to influence my own line art.
Mhm.
What I did do is collect hundreds and hundreds of pieces of reference
Mhm.
from feudal Japan, from the Crusades. One of my primary concerns about doing the book was not my art style, because I mean, I basically define my art style as semi-realistic comic book art. You
Okay.
know, I've got the right proportions, I've got the right anatomy, and I do everything painstakingly accurate when it comes to the details. When you see a sword fight between two Templars in this book, this is actual medieval sword play. When you see Japanese armor or Japanese
Mhm.
weapons in this book, this is what I found them to be using in the 11th century Japan.
Okay.
So what I really pulled from Japan was their history.
Right. That's awesome. That's all. You gotta love that. Like when I'm not gonna get into it, but you gotta love it when an artist does that. Because some artists will be like, "Oh, I'll just draw it," and they just draw it. But to
For
actually
sure.
go
Oh
and
no, there's
no,
so many tiny little details,
Mhm.
especially about this. I wanted to do a period piece, but I mean, hey, I figured let's do it the most difficult way possible and do
Mhm.
it with Aaron. Because
There
Aaron
you
not
go.
only gave me a period piece, he gave me Euro-Saxon knights in the Middle East in the Crusades that then fuck off all the way to Japan. So
Yeah,
now I had to do feudal Japan, the Middle East Crusades, and English nobles all in
yeah,
the same book.
that is
Yep.
crazy. I know that was
Mess them
fun. I know
all.
that was
Don't
fun to
mess
draw.
them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And for anyone out there right now asking the question, how did he get over there? Back the Kickstarter, you'll find out. You'll find out. Van, so as far as the lettering, how did it go? How did it work for you to because like with the lettering, because like I letter too, lettering is an art style. I truly believe that. And a lot of lettering, like you can't just throw letters on art. Sometimes you have to find the lettering style that fits the art, that fits that book, that fits the vibe of it. So what was your process in going through that to ensure that the way you lettered it, it meshed with the book, meshed with Joe's art and with Aaron's story?
Uh, Luck.
Yeah,
A
luck
lot
does
of it
play.
was just me basically just going through a font website and trying to
Mhm.
find something that really fits fits that vibe. Because you can't really use all the same stuff because I pretty much had to throw away all the fonts and stuff that I saved
Mhm.
from Paradigm, and so kind of started fresh
Okay.
with Fall of Night, and yeah, that was yeah, pretty much just got lucky with it. I kind of got a feel for it and then put it in there and as best I could, and then Aaron and Jess give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and, and then I just keep going with whatever they say looks good.
Well, okay. Sounds good.
What
And
caught my eye about Van right from the get is that he's probably one of the most illustrative letterers I've worked with. By that, I mean text boxes to word balloons to everything.
yeah,
He brings a flavor to the lettering that really does add to the story. So
Yeah.
that is cool.
Yeah, thanks,
Like,
That is
Joe.
cool.
he really caught my
I'll
eye right off the bat.
That's the
I'll say
artistic
about it
style and lettering
too.
right there.
I didn't know lettering could be an art style. Like what you said, that it's mostly just blend in so that it doesn't, distract from anything. Instead, in this story, the lettering became part of a story and part
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
setting the scene and part of the art. And it's been really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got my face in new comic books all the time, and I'm not seeing this. So when
Mhm.
Van put the new page together, and I see that, it's surprising and it's so cool, and like it's worth being proud of, and it's definitely special and
Yeah.
something that's not in most comic books.
See there you go, Van. The letter artist. There you go, right there.
Yep.
The
Thank
letter
you.
artist.
It's been cool to like become friends with Van and like see him get into this stuff. Even I think I don't know if Van's looked at Paradigm versus what he's doing now, but like that kind of stuff is always fun to do. Is just like see because some of the early stuff he did versus what you're doing now, and it's slightly heart wrenching. But you did a great job
at it.
Yeah, I mean, you did a great job on the read letters, but a completely different style of story. But like Jess said, the stuff he's doing on this is just not stuff that's being done in comics currently, and it could be. But I think this just happened to be a particular story that all of us gravitated towards. Like if people know Van, like this kind of a story would be the one that Van would be like, I think I'll go a little bit crazy on the lettering for this one. And I think this is how you build people that you're going to want to work with for a long time is just trying stuff and finding what works and who works together. And so like this, this little triangle over here in the corner, like we're about to be working on another book together for somebody else. It's just,
that's cool.
We're just going to keep doing that. Keep everybody busy.
I think it really helps whenever the team loves what it is they're doing. And, like sometimes you get a team member who will be on the team and is really, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be there for the money because there's a lot of people who are just there like, hey, I'm here to get paid, but they still push it. But like when everybody has that piece where, it's theirs also in a sense, like I think you get more out of it and you can see it. You can see it in the pages and stuff, just how much you all wanted to do this project.
I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky with the projects that have gravitated toward me and the people that I've been happy to work with. And you were absolutely right. Some books that, you take it for the dollar. I said so in the beginning of this, right? Like I like to get paid. But I'm at a point where I turn down more scripts than I actually accept. And I get really, really picky at these points because I see certain things in different projects. If it's a new creator, maybe the thing I see is his enthusiasm, how badly he loves this and wants to do it.
Yeah.
In this case, with Aaron, it's a script that he gave me, a couple of years ago, right?
I think we were working on Tilt 3 or something.
Yeah. Anyway, he gave me this script and asked me to read it. And he said, this isn't for now. This is for later. And I knew that even then, I knew that I wanted to do a period piece. And this was the perfect thing to break my head open against a wall. But yeah, I digress. I've just been very lucky to be able to pick and choose the scripts that I work on.
I feel that. I understand that. And Jessica, how has it been on the producer side for the book?
Gosh, I think it's been fun getting to see, okay, this is how a comic book is made from start to finish. This is the whole thing. This is everything it takes. I didn't know. And so now it adds an extra layer of value to them. It also, I think it adds an extra layer of value to the things that are most important, because so often I pick up a comic from the local comic book store and it's maybe not the best quality. And so like I see that and I can recognize it in a different way, and that indie comics are different, that they have a different standard, and also the people that are making them are like, the viewership is a different standard, but also the people who are making them have a different standard for themselves, that they're so proud of it, that it's their own projects, that they're probably putting forth a lot of times a better product, a better story, or a better art, a better printing. So I think it's been fun, and it's just been a learning lesson on how to love comics more, and also how to love the right ones more.
Oh yeah.
It definitely goes one direction or the other, Jessica.
Yeah.
This experience will either leave you loving it more or running in terror.
Oh yeah, almost. Yeah. I've seen both. I've seen folks do one book and they're like, I'm out. I did it. I can say I did it. I'm gone. And then you have us psychos who
sometimes we'll try to talk ourselves out of it. Like, should I be doing another book? And then here we are right back. Ain't that right here? Like,
Yep. This is the first project that I've ever had someone like just take the project management reins on. And even I had messaged here, I want to say it was yesterday, the day before or something, where I was just like, this is the smartest thing I've ever done. It's just have somebody else do the actual project management side of it. And Jessica knows, she knows my heart for like creativity and writing, and that's where I want my efforts to go towards, because that's the part where I think I shine more. And I've always been slacking in the and lacking in the project management side of it. And having somebody to take those reins and just run it has been really cool for me, because it keeps me in check, but it also helps keep the team in check. And I think that's another thing that I don't see a lot of people doing in the indie comic community. Not a lot of people are running with a project manager, and she was willing to do it. I have her little her guidebook that she made herself.
Oh no!
I'm not going to show it all. But she got a whole bunch. She was these are actually all the sheets.
Secrets.
These are all the sheets that come when you you order your books, when you order your printed books. These are the ones that separate them. And so
this is my secret. This is my production secret that he's showing you.
Yeah,
classified, Aaron. That's classified. That's what
she has a page for each page, and it is filled out to like what needs to be where.
It's the cover, it's the inside cover, it's numbered, and it has, for every single one, here's the inks, here's the colors, here's the room, a slot for the dates, so every single page, I can look at it. Are you going to, if you're specifically
Jessica,
asking me about
you do not need to defend yourself. You do not need to defend yourself. Just know that you are killing it, okay? That's it.
But that's fun. That's fun to me. Like I like that. Whereas writing the story is fun to someone else, not to me. Can't tell a story. But the math of this, we have 11 pages out of 22 colored. We've got this many lettered. Like I like watching that happen. I like having my own little book and filling it out. That's my jam. I like that. And so it's good because it does take the burden off of an artist. Like it's a different, it's a helpful part of the project that an artist hardly ever wants to do, but I do enjoy it, so that's helpful.
Takes the weight off the shoulders and gives you a breath of fresh air.
Something I noticed in indie comics. Something I noticed in indie comics, there's a lot of raw creativity, and for better or worse, and sometimes it helps to have someone there who could specialize in saying, hey, look, this is what we're focusing on, and getting us all towards that goal is really valuable. And I never really knew that was a thing that existed in comics. And when I was reading comics as a kid, I never really thought there was a person who did that. I just thought Todd McFarlane sitting there writing this whole thing and drawing this whole thing and lettering this whole thing, and I never really thought about everything else that goes into it. But when you have a full crew that's firing on all cylinders, like all these guys are, it shows, and you could feel the quality in the book.
That's awesome. And just like Aaron was saying, we talked the other day, and when you told me that about Jessica, I was like, man, it's like it feels good, don't it? Because like my fiance, she helps me. Like I have my squirrel moments. Like I'll be here and I get distracted and have my squirrel moments, and she's just like, leave the squirrel alone. Leave the squirrel alone.
Well, and the other thing is like I know, Tyr, you have like, a buttload of books that you're working on. And then like, I'm also working on stuff for other people. So it was one of those things where it's like, I need to be able to set aside that time and not be worrying about, I got to check in on this, that, or the other thing. So like I've been quieter in our team chat than in anything I've ever done before. And it's because it's Jessica's job to run it. And I'm just over here doing my part. And then I'm her moral support. And then I get to spend time writing the other stuff and finishing scripts or whatever I need to do for clients. And, in the long run, that keeps Joe busy and that keeps Van busy. So, I got to get that done so Joe can just go ahead and start working on the next thing.
Do what he has to do.
Absolutely,
because I can tell Joe be ready to put the pencil
I try to keep my schedule tight, man. I really do. I have this book scheduled out, Fall of Night. I'm just doing the line art, right? And it's a horrible thing to say just doing the line art, but that's what I'm doing here. And I plan on having all pages done by Valentine's Day. My
Aw.
next script, which Aaron knows just dropped today, is currently being reviewed. We're going to edit that for a second draft, and I will be starting that on February 15th.
Man,
I do
hard
not
worker
like
right there.
downtime.
I understand that. I guess like some of this probably leads into the next question because Jessica, you said this is like your first step into it, but so I'm pretty sure you may have a lot to say with this, you know, as you're getting used to the
Okay.
comics world. And we've all had those books that were just like they didn't go smoothly
Oh yeah.
at all. So the next question would be like, what would you say was the hardest part in creating this book, if any? I mean, maybe it went smooth, maybe it went smoothly, but if not, what would you say was the hardest part in creating this book? Whoever wants to go
Gosh,
first.
okay. Probably the hardest part was like when we picked this because we recognized that like this is one that we believe in and we still do believe in it. And so we decided to maybe try a different method to just send it off and see if anyone would maybe pick it up just from the start. And it didn't happen. I mean, that's the most disappointing part. But what did we do? Like, I think we just kind of recognized that wasn't necessarily the right fit, and maybe even one of them was disrespectful, so it wasn't the right fit for us ourselves. Maybe we would want to have this project that we care very much about in our own hands if other bigger people are going to be disrespectful about it. So kind of felt that little bit of a burden and then let it go and moved on with the project, and here it is being successful and fully funded.
Nice. Anyone else want to pick up on that? Hardest part
Hardest part about this book?
Yeah, this book. If
The
any,
hardest
if
part
any.
about this book was exactly what Jessica was talking about. That in the beginning, when we were first conscripted onto the team, it was to do not matching pages. So our first elevator pitch, it didn't have matching pages all the way through. So when I came back to the book just to start all the line art, there were jumps between. Like I'd have to do the first 4 pages, then the next 3 were already done, and then 2 pages, and then the next 2 were done, and it was difficult to get into that early flow.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I got a little confused while I was going through the our files, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's the other 2 files? I'm like, did I miss 2? And I asked.
Oh
goes,
yeah.
Lady, did we finish those yet? And Joe's like, yeah, months ago. Oh yeah, I already did those. But from here on out, it's all sequential.
Yeah. Thank God.
I think there was that difficulty as well of like we all knew, the whole team knew that we were going to be pitching it, and that's why we picked the pages that we pitched. The whole team knew the pitch. The whole team also knows where the story's going. So I think for all of us, like it was one of those things where it's like, well, I do think this would be a good fit somewhere, and then it's just you can't really. I guess it was one of those moments of the recognition of we are still indie. Like people don't know me. And it's not like I thought. Man. Yeah, for sure. And it was more of the thing of like the way I've always looked at it, and Tyr, you and I have talked about this so many times, is like if I could get a book picked up by somebody, the whole point of that is so that I could redirect those new people to the other stuff that I write. Right. And so I thought this might be the book. And, you know, Jessica and I were talking yesterday or the day before, and Jessica was like, it would probably have a better shot now that it's funded and has as many backers as it has. Like, you know, it sounds better. Like, you know, there is an audience for it. And so like, what do you do distribution wise? So like now we're taking a look at what we're going to do distribution wise to be able to try to do something better than we've done before. You know, one of the other benefits of having Jessica on as not just project manager, but press editor. And, you know, we get to like sit there and talk about like, well, what do we do to make this make sense? Because the other big thing about not getting it picked up is like, well, crap, now we need to do a crowdfunder and we need to pay everybody out of that. And we need to pay to get the packages done and all the stuff fulfilled and shipped. And it's a huge undertaking and a huge task every time you do it. And I don't know a creator that would ever prefer that this was what they had to go through to get their books out, but it is also the nature of the beast. And I understand that. But it's like, all right, now that thing's made, what can you do to get it to a wider audience before you go and do issue 2, 3, 4, 5, however many it's going to be. So that's kind of where we're starting to look into now and starting to look ahead to what the next steps for this book are beyond fulfillment.
Okay.
Right. Before, to people, it was, you know, anybody we're pitching it to, well, I mean, that sounds nice, but they don't know if it's going to be successful. Now it's, hey, wow, there was a niche for that. People really do like it. You found it. It's there. It's successful. So it's just, how do we work with that? How do we work with this project and carry it and keep it working for us?
Mm-hmm. I guess now with that too, you could probably be a little bit more picky about who it is that you pitch to, you know, because I remember that one email you showed me, Aaron. Yeah. They're definitely off the list.
I would never. They're permanently off the list.
Yeah.
Like they could come to me and be like, "We already filled out the check," and I'd be like, "It's not going through you."
Yeah, probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not playing a game like that with people. I think it's disrespectful.
Incredibly.
And then when I posted that, there were other people that were like, "Dude, I know exactly who you're talking about," because they've all been treated that way too. Yeah. And then I'm just like, "Well, that's ridiculous." Yeah. Because, like, I mean, let's be real. All of us in this room right now, we know who I'm talking about, and it's like something I had not thought about them as. And so then when you do see them then in that light, it's like, well, crap, that's upsetting. Let's just keep it in house and be better than them.
So, yeah, it kind of falls into that never meet your heroes category. You know, like you're like, oh, I like this person.
Smart to walk away from it.
Yeah, agreed, Joe. Agreed on that.
Gonna build my own publishing company with blackjack and hookers.
Because I think I told you, because Aaron, I told you what happened to me, right? With the same.
Yes. Yeah.
That was wow. Like,
Tyr's still missing editor credit for a book that is widely known, because that company just decided to not give the editors credit in the printed book.
Oh my God!
Just decided on it. Did you have a contract?
Yeah, I signed it, sent it up. The creator of the book unfortunately passed away, and they changed everything. They changed all the editing crew and everything on it. Yep. Yeah, it was wild. But I don't even want to get into that because that shit pissed me off. So I'm sorry, when you told me about that, I was like, "What? Freaking assholes!" Okay. Oh man. Okay. So Aaron, tell us some about this, about the main character of the book, the centerpiece of this book. Just let us know about them without spoiling anything. For sure. I personally can't do that well. I spoil shit all the time. But you try not to spoil anything. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the story's really going to end up being told through three people's perspectives, and it's going to be Anthony, Kira, and Ashuzai. And they're all in different kind of, I guess, backgrounds. Anthony being the Knight Templar, he is the central character of the story. We are exploring his fall. We're exploring him having to pick up a sword again, and we're exploring what happens when a knight decides that he has to help save a province from a leader who is starting to look a lot like the leaders that he was serving and ran away from. So Anthony is just a rigid, cornered, trying to drink his passed away knight who ran away and is literally just trying to forget that part of his life existed. And maybe someday he'll get it together enough to start working on himself again. But when we meet him, it doesn't appear that that's going to be that. And then there's Kira, who is going to be she's an ex-samurai's daughter. And she's got her own little background story that we're going to discover. I think it's in issue 2. We'll see a little bit of her younger younger years, and she is the actual town drunk, and that's how she lives her life. It's just sake in it away. And then Ashujai, he is the daimyo for the area. He is kind of the ruthless leader who is the exploration of his background is going to be why he feels like the way he's leading is the right way to lead. And I think that kind of stuff I like to do because it gives levity to the person behind the character. It's not just, we can look at him as just a villain, or we can understand where he's coming from. And I think that's going to really help people understand the importance of all the characters and how they interact to and with each other.
That's awesome. It sounds like you already have, I can tell you put depth into it. It like, I can already see prequels. And I already see I just see mouths of books. Got a feeling this ain't gonna be the first or last. Like I see issue after issue after issue after issue, because that sounds like a lot of story.
No, we haven't talked about any of those things.
No, that would be crazy. No, we this is going to be a 5-issue miniseries, but we have definitely talked about the possibility. I haven't talked to Van or Joe about it, but the possibility of a spinoff that I think would be fun as crap, and it would put Joe in another situation of just having to figure out how interactions.
Oh my God, work. More culture shock.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God,
I see stuff with the daimyo. I see stuff with the actual village drunk character. Like, how did she get there? Why is she like that? What happened before the drove her to that? Like,
yeah, I mean, prequels, sequels. I have the idea that I would probably do after this one is probably the sequel, and then someday to go back and tell the prequel. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. I'm starting to reformat how we. Jessica and I have talked a lot about how we're going to approach projects going forward, and we're going to shift them a little bit in the way that we do them. So I think when we get to that point, I think it'll be really cool because we'll be able to have a lot of fun with story depth.
Okay. And Joe, what would you say? What was your favorite page drawing this in this book?
In this book, so far, it's definitely the double page spread. You haven't seen it yet. I haven't inked it yet. I've just done rough pencils and layouts on it, but it's the most violent pages in the book so far.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to see those colors. I honestly can't.
My comment earlier today was that's delightfully disturbing. It's been lovely because it's really beautiful and violent.
Yeah. You gotta love a beautifully violent page.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, the artwork.
This was a gritty time period. I mean, I think that's what's fun about it is like we all get to push ourselves a little bit with this particular setting and this particular story because it's not a hack 'em up, slash 'em, serial killer story. It's not a boob book. It's like we get to have fun with telling a story in a time period that was violent and that held no regard for human life.
Yeah.
The most fun that I'm having really drawing Fall of Night is that it's not my wheelhouse. What I'm mostly known for is superhero work. And I draw the guys who are blasting the bad guys. That's what I do. If you have a big guy who's throwing a mountain, I can draw that for you. No problem. But when you put a bunch of people in a situation and it's not a superhero book, the violence gets way more personal.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah.
It gets so personal. I'm not blasting you from across the street with my ray beams. No, I'm shoving my thumb in your eye socket so I can dig it out.
We are eye to eye as this is going on.
This is so much more fun. For someone like me who likes to draw the expressions and the reactions to the things that are going on. What is somebody's reaction to this?
Yeah.
To this level of violence that has never been, done to me before. How am I going to react to that? And
look at you, Aaron. You say you don't change the game. You got Joe's whole genre turned around. He's about to jump ship.
When I first sent him the script, like I'm thinking back through like different conversations we had. I remember being like, I know this isn't like a normal. This would be different. Yeah. And like when I sent it to Joe, like his response was like, first off, like, heck yeah. And then second of all, like, he was like, oh, I think I could do something different for this. And so both of us were excited years ago that someday we would get to tell the story together. And so now we get to finally do that. And I don't think, look, we had Ramon doing colors on Tilt, and Ramon is top tier level as far as the way it looks, colorist. And I don't think either of us saw the Lois Lackey element of this book coming. And I think it's pretty well blown all of us away, and apparently everybody that I've been on shows with.
That's all. Yeah, it's
Lois has brought another level to the art.
Yeah, that's the reason why I asked the question too about like if you like the art style, because I could tell like. But you already said you researched the era and you got references from the era, and you can tell that's one of the things I love about it, because I recognized it right off the bat that the lettering, the inks and pencils, the coloring, the story is just. People cared. You could tell when someone cares about a book and when someone doesn't. And this book, you could tell there was a lot of care that went into creating this book. Y'all did a freaking amazing job with it. And Van, from a letterer to a letterer, sometimes we do have that page that we're just like, I showed my ass on that page. Like, which page was that for you, where you feel like you just went in and just lettered like there was no tomorrow?
Oh, well, because all the pages were kind of out of order. I forget which one it was, but it was the one where it was just all dialogue of Anthony's inner monologue. And I was just went crazy. Banners all over the place, little swirly stripies of this little tattered banners all over the place. Oh,
you're talking about the page where he starts out on a pile of bodies?
Yes.
Okay, it was a great page, man. You killed that page.
That was fun. I just kept just turning that crazy knob all the way until they tell me to stop, and they didn't.
That's why I say lettering is an art. That's why I've talked to some folks and they're like, I'll just put letters on it. I'm like, if you're just gonna use Comic Sans, then just throw the book away because it's an art form. It's an art form. And I constantly there's letters that I have seen, and it's helping me push the envelope even on my lettering, to where I'm lettering one of my books right now, and I'm just doing the same thing, Van. And I'm just like, now I'm just gonna turn it up, just go as wild as I can and see what happens with this. Jessica, what page would you say was your favorite? The one that you enjoyed seeing or coming across whenever the pages were the completed pages or even before they were completed, pencil stage, whichever one.
I think I'll just pick one that's just maybe different. I like the page that when Joe sent it and I saw the pose that was the character Kira, I kind of recognized what she could be as a character. I kind of saw her as a person. Instead of in the writing, I saw her as a person. I thought I really like that. I like her. I can see her standing there. I can see her attitude, and I felt right then I want to see more of her in the story. So that was my favorite page. For a different reason, because it wasn't that it looks really cool. There are ones like that. There are really cool fight scenes. There's really cool lettering, but that was this particular piece of art said to me, you need more of the writing of this story.
Yeah, I feel that. You do have some of those pages that just do that. You can go through a whole book and you'll just see that one page that just, I want to know more. I want to know more now. So that's perfect.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sweet.
For those that didn't know, Kira was originally a dude character until literally, I think, production started on the book, and that's when we switched it.
Yep.
Because I think it was nothing more than me saying, Kira's a girl now. So.
I think my script actually has the first few pages with Kira with the wrong name.
Yep.
Okay. No, if I remember correctly, it was looking at the cast and thinking, all right, it's a cast of male characters, and what might add to the story, if we can maybe change this character a little bit, make it a little different, and make each scene a little different. It changes the art. It changes the character.
One of the things I like that you did
changes the
too.
context of the scene, definitely.
And having the town drunk be a female is just great to
Exactly.
me.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Because you could have went geisha, and because that's usually what a lot of people do when they
Nah.
play in that era.
No.
But you decided to make her the town drunk. As soon as you said that, I was like, "That's perfect. That's instantly."
Yeah, and you know, I've been asked on a few different shows, different things that like people would like to take guesses on, and one of them is always like, "Oh, so at some point, Anthony's going to pick up a samurai sword," and I was just like, "No, he won't ever." I mean, if he did, it's by accident, but it's not like he's not becoming a samurai. That's not the story. That's not what it is. He is still a Knight Templar at his core. He just doesn't have an order that he serves. And I want to continue to tell that story. I don't want to just that would. I told the person that asked me, I said that would be the most predictable thing I could do in this book.
Exactly. Yeah, by taking him, putting him there, and all of a sudden he goes from knight to samurai. Like that's been done in movies.
So I do like the fact that he's there, but he's like, no, I'm still a knight, and he's still.
I think going forward, we're going to have a lot of fun with Joe having to figure out how to do these fight scenes. Because when you got a Knight Templar versus like, I don't know, 12 samurai dudes, like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bloodbath, and not in a good way. Not in an Our Boy kind of way.
Yeah.
Because that armor's heavy compared to samurai.
Yeah.
Well, just think about the steel, man. Just thinking about the swords themselves. A samurai sword, a katana that's been folded 400 times is going to cut through a European sword like butter.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like,
which means I get to write a scene where Anthony is fighting with the fragments of a sword, and it's going to be absolute chaos.
Have him just grab the other one that's been broken. He's dual wielding.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna do weird stuff.
Hand bleeding.
Well, how do you approach that? Right?
Yeah,
that's the question. How do you approach a fight between the brutal strength of the European knights and the eloquence of the samurai's bushido? How do you show this? And I think the answer is only one thing: absolute savagery.
Yes.
Going after it with animalistic savagery.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the trick right there, is putting like if Anthony's gonna have to go up against multiple samurais and their weaponry is superior, his is gonna fall apart. It becomes fight or flight. And what happens when a knight goes into full fight mode with whatever's around him? Like, I get to have fun writing that, and Joe's going to get to have fun creating that in art.
Yeah. And man, I can see a lot of splats and splatter and crunch and just chaos.
Some bloody scenes.
A lot of slits.
Slits. Just on one page, just put chaos just across the
Yeah.
Vance, just start making lists of wet sound effects.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I already had one ages ago. I don't know why I haven't. It's just there.
You need like a database where it's like a quick search.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
Man, you could sell that.
That would be cool.
That's ridiculous. What a good idea.
That's a crazy idea.
Onomatopoeia book.
Well, it's out there. Aaron said it. So if anyone comes up with it, you stole it. If anyone comes up with it, you stole it from Aaron.
That's right. I said it.
So who would y'all say your favorite characters are? Or your favorite character of the book so far that you're working on it? I know that's a hard question. I get asked that for my own, and it's always hard to answer. So I think that's probably one of the hardest questions that we have here. Who's your favorite character in the book so far? Aaron?
Mine's tied between Anthony and Ashizai, because I know where both their stories are going, and their stories are so intertwined that I think it's hard for me to pick. I mean, it would be traditional, of course, for me to just lean towards Anthony because, I mean, he just, has a lot of like things that I think are part of him as a character. But I love the idea of the daimyo, and especially when we get to explore what makes him tick and what made him who he is. That's fun. There is another one though that I think Joe and I always forget the name of, and we just call him the dickhead or like whatever insulting name comes up at the time. That's what we refer to him. I think it's Gareth is like his actual name. Or something.
Yeah, it is.
That's a dickhead name, though.
Right?
I think I've called him frat boy douchebag a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a Templar Chad.
Yeah,
Templar Chad.
yes.
That is hilarious.
All right.
Jess,
I want to hear
what about you?
Joe's and Jess.
Joe.
Yeah, everybody's.
Yeah, everybody's.
Oh, okay. My favorite characters. I think to read, my favorite character is Anthony because we're following his emotional growth and his going down the rabbit hole, so to speak. So that's the most interesting to read for me. To draw, I'm gonna have to say it's characters that Tyr you haven't seen yet. But I drew them in so many different choreographed fight scenes that it's got to be Anthony's backup guys. They were the most fun to draw.
Okay.
Because they were the ones who were actually doing the specifically detailed sword fighting, and I really enjoyed doing that.
Nice.
That's nice, yeah.
Nice.
Jessica, your turn.
For me, it's Anthony. That's why I picked this story. I wanted to hear that story. I wanted to see his turmoil on the page. I wanted to have to cry about it and get stabbed in the heart, with how painful it's going to be. So that's my favorite character. I just think like that's where the story is, and that's what a good story is for me. One that makes you care, one that hurts. Like you really feel for, and that's in Anthony.
Yeah. All great stories have some form of emotional damage.
Yeah.
I agree, man. I agree. All good stories have conflict, and if that's the form the conflict takes, then yeah.
But that's what's fun about the story is like Joe and I coming from a background of doing superhero stuff together, and now we're just flipping it into just raw humanity, like it's just raw humanity. That's. I mean, it doesn't get any more real for even the reader to be like, dang, like I wonder if that's exactly how I would have approached this situation.
Yeah, you always want the reader to come away thinking, like you just said, would I have done that? Would I have run? No, I probably would have ran. Would I have stabbed him in the eye with my thumb? No, I probably would have picked up a rock. You always want those. You always want those questions.
I hope I would have done this.
Yeah, I hope I would have done that. I wouldn't have ran through.
Take a shot of sake and take a shot of sake and go home.
Exactly. Like, sorry, got off the wrong boat. I'm out. Van, what about you?
Kira. Simply because she inspired the sloppy balloon. Because when she comes into the story, she's just a sloppy drunk. So I wanted to illustrate her slurring her speech with a bubble that's tinged with booze and dripping down the paper.
Freaking love it.
So. Yeah, so
it's a gnarly balloon.
So
like
basically,
she's drunk.
Yeah.
So she's the character that helped you create a new chat balloon, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it. Oh man. Hold on. Get these questions back. There we go. So I think y'all kind of already answered this. Y'all already said your favorite part, so we're not gonna go over that. But what's next? Like, I know issue 1, if I'm not mistaken, you said that there's still some pages that need to be, I guess, inked, Joe. Still some pages that need to be inked and some that need to be colored. So has the second issue script been started? Like, Aaron, have you jumped out, or are you taking a break, like a mental break from it for the time being, or?
Yeah. So the story is outlined. All 5 issues are outlined. I have not scripted issue 2. Like I said earlier, Jessica and I are really examining the way we want to move forward with how we tell these stories. So, the first way that we are looking forward to what's going to happen next is we want to close out one last job and get the full graphic novel done so that we can just be done with it. And so then that's off the plate. So then the only 2 things on the plate are Fall of Night and the Neverland Chronicles. And the other big thing for us is what we're going to do with the Neverland Chronicles. We would like to start maneuvering that toward the end of this year to be probably three 40-page books.
Nice.
We have the artist attached to it. Dan Schmidt from Worms Crawl In / Worms Crawl Out is the new artist on that, and the story's there. And I think we are going to reformat, and do like a long 40-page and do it in 3 volumes to tell that whole story. So in that, we want to, like I've said on multiple shows, this Fall of Night is, for me, the most important story that I've written so far. And so I want to make sure that we do this right. And that's why Jessica and I are, after this first issue's done, we want to figure out a way that when we move forward with it, it is a bigger, more known, better thing for us and the whole team, so that we can start leveling ourselves up. It's been long enough. I've needed the help for a long time, and Jessica's been helping quite a bit, and I'm interested to see what the next little phase of Catalyst as a whole is going to look like.
Big things. Have Joe and Van, have y'all got to see the synopsis?
No, I've been told the story, but I haven't seen any synopsis or anything past issue 1.
Would you want to, or do you think that'd get like the gears churning and you'll be ready to draw right
I
then?
think 15 minutes after Aaron's finished putting it down on paper, it'll be in my email.
I agree. It probably will be, most definitely. Oh man. Sheesh. We're at an hour right now.
Yeah.
Flies by.
Oh man.
Look,
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we've gained multiple
even notice
backers on this, so
Yeah.
that's fun.
Okay, so
Very
Thank you,
nice.
everyone out there who backed. Thank you
Yep.
very much. Share
Wow.
so more people can see it.
Let's see. Let's see.
Look,
Look, we're going towards the stretch goal. That's just always fun for me. Just an instant upgrade for deluxe edition on the digital issue. We'll put a bunch of stuff in there. I've said it before. This is a very, very important story to me as a person and in my writing career. And so, part of what I want to include this in this particular deluxe edition is at least an article. I don't know how long it'll be, but I'm sure it'll be pretty long. Maybe an essay, if you will, that is really about the concept of the story, why it matters to me. And I'm hoping that we'll see that come to fruition. We're pretty close. I mean, $128 away, something like that. I don't know. I can't math, but we're getting closer to unlocking that stretch goal. I'd love to see that happen. We are, closing in on. We got 45 hours left on the campaign. So, and then the other big thing was we did open up 3 associate producer tiers. One of those is gone. So there's 2 left, and you get everything from the campaign. But more importantly, you are immortalized in the book itself as an associate producer in the credits forever. And I think that's really cool. We've offered this a couple of times. We offered it on the Tilt trade, and it's, if anybody's into that kind of thing and getting the kind of credit that goes behind that, then hey, you could be an associate producer for Fall of Night, and Joe and Van, Lois, Jessica, and myself will forever be indebted to you, and you can request of Joe one favor, but it can never be told publicly.
There goes the spiciness.
oh man. Okay, so I guess as we bring this around to an end, tell folks where. Well, first off, Kickstarter is in the comments, right? So everyone go to the comments as you're watching. The link is in there.
There's only
Click
so
on the
much
link.
time left.
It's only
So
so much
close.
time left. Click the link. Go back to Kickstarter so we can get to this stretch goal. But let everybody know where they can find you at, other than the Kickstarter, where they can find you on social medias if they want to get any more of the books or see any more of your art, Joe, or hire Joe Van to letter. Where can everyone find you?
Who is it directed to? Me,
Oh,
Aaron?
wait, start for Aaron.
Yeah, so look me up on TikTok. I'm not going to dance over there, so don't even think that that's what's occurring. However, I do drop writing tips. I dropped one earlier today. Talked a little bit about the hero's journey. But yeah, so that's at Aaron Wright stuff on TikTok, and hopefully I'll start doing a little bit more with that now that the campaign's wrapping up. CatalystComicStudio.com. I need to reconstruct. We have server issues. We're moving servers, so it'll look good once we get it over and fixed. And we're going back to our old school branding. And our old school branding kit. So I'm excited for how colorful and vibrant that's going to be, because I'm just a colorful and vibrant dude. Nice. And then aarondowan.com, hopefully by the end of this week, will be up and running. And that's just going to be my writing portfolio and all that goodness.
Nice.
All right.
Joe.
Again, I'm Joe DeSantos. And you can find me by Googling me and just follow the rabbit hole, and you'll eventually get to me. Right now, we're working on Fall of Night and getting that finished. Immediately after, I'm moving on to Atreidian Justice #2. After that, I have a few books that need to be done. 2 for LRDV Comics, which is The Cloak and Osiris Origins. Also, I'm working with Michael Norwitz on a public domain book called The New Olympians. Issue #1 is in the can, and we're working on issue #2 currently. Any questions or concerns about anything I've ever done, just send me an email. I'm sure to get to it quick.
Okay. And Van, where can everyone find you?
On Instagrams and the Facebooks, you could find me at Van Claridge, spelled just like it is under my face here. Yeah, right here. And on Twitter or X, you can find me at the Van Claridge, because some jerk decided he was also going to be Van Claridge. And you can also find me on my website for my in-progress comic that I'm actually writing called Omnibellum. It's omnibellum.com, and you can find a link to it in the said social medias. And up there, I don't really have a whole lot up there yet, but hey, you could check out my merch shop. I have stupid things like a Burrito the Squirrel shirt, and you can get one of those if you want. So other than that, yeah, that's all I got going. But if you want to hire me for lettering, probably tough, because I think Joe's going to keep me busy for quite a while.
Yes, Van also will be switching right.
Toast.
Yeah, he's switching right from this to the next.
Yep. You'll see me in Atreidian Justice 2.
Okay. And Jessica.
You normally can't find me anywhere, but I am going to do the Morning Brew with Lori Calcaterra. It's in like the next week or two. I'll be talking about the producer role, and I'll probably be talking or fussing about comics, because I keep going on these shows and I find that no one wants to talk about any of the comics they've read lately, and so I am going to do that. We are definitely going to talk about things we've actually read.
I like how you said things you've actually read.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people now who aren't reading.
Reading comics. Who has time for that?
So true.
Right.
It's so true.
Too busy making them. And then, I'm not going to get into that.
Tyr, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on social media at TikTok, like Aaron. I don't dance, so I won't be dancing up there.
Damn it.
Instagram. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think I'll put it this way: if I come back to Kickstarter, which I have thought about it, Aaron, because you went back, so it's got me thinking about going back. If I go back and it's the biggest Kickstarter that I've done, I might dance on TikTok. We'll see. We'll see. But you can just find me at Sovereign Comics, spelled SOVEREIGN Comics, and basically just look for the orange lion head. Can't miss it. We're on X, we're on Threads, we're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, Instagram, which is the one that I am frequent the most.
Like I said, I'm also a letterer. So if you want to hire me as a letterer, just look for Tyr the Omniscient on Instagram. My Sovereign Comics page and my personal page up there, or my personal / artist page, is connected. So you find one, you'll find the other. But yeah. Oh yeah, and also on YouTube, which I started doing videos on the lore of my universe, because I got a lot of questions and I was like, let me just do videos. It's gonna be easier to do it that way.
Let me answer it once and not again.
Yep.
Well,
And
Tyr
it
likes
helps.
spoilers, so that's good for him.
Mhm.
So go to
Yep.
Tyr's YouTube and discover all the spoilers before you read the books.
All the spoilers, because they're gonna make you. It's gonna make you want to read the book. You're gonna be like, hey, how did that happen? You're gonna go read the book. Speaking of Aaron, I do need to talk to you about something, because you know how I have Sovereign 1.
Yep.
So someone gave me an idea to do companions after the one video I posted to my Patreon. I need to talk to you about that, because I might ask you if you want to help me co-write one of the companions. It's going to be a novel form. So instead of it being Kickstarter, it's going to be novel form. I may need an editor. No, I will need an editor. It's been a while since I wrote a novel.
Yeah. Well, there's that. We also got another backer right here at the end, which is awesome. So we're now at 120. Fantastic. Just cranking on up there.
Beautiful.
Make sure that you continue to spread the word about Fall of Night. We got 45 hours. It's 45, a strong 45. And I'm looking forward to see where this campaign ends up and to get this book out to everybody. I think it's really encouraging how many people wanted a physical copy of this book. I think we are about twice the amount of digital, which is weird and cool at the same time. So make sure you check that out. And for everybody that's been watching, it's been really cool. I like seeing that people are actually watching, even if you're not saying, hey, you bearded gentlemen, you all look so lovely. Or whatever weird stuff you want to say. But thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm going to make sure that I hit this button mid-sentence